So, what if you weren't just living a life, but actually building one? Today, we're going to dive into this really powerful idea that you are the architect of your own soul, the master builder of your own inner world.
You ever get that feeling? Like you're just kind of adrift in this sea of opinions and expectations and just constant digital noise? If you do, trust me, you are not alone. That feeling of being a little lost, it's pretty much a defining feature of our modern world. Well, there's actually a name for it. The psychiatrist Viktor Frankl called it the existential vacuum. You know, that nagging emptiness that starts to creep in when we don't have a clear sense of purpose? And when we feel that void, our gut instinct is to just try and fill it with anything.
Frankel noticed we usually reach for two things: pleasure and power. We scroll endlessly on our phones for that quick hit of entertainment, or we chase after status, hoping that that'll be the thing that makes us feel whole. But you know how it is. These are just temporary fixes for a much, much deeper problem.
So, what's the real answer then? Well, to find it, we have to go to one of the darkest places in human history. See, Viktor Frankl wasn't just a psychiatrist in a comfortable office. He was a Holocaust survivor. And what he discovered in the concentration camps, well, it became the cornerstone of his entire philosophy. He saw with his own eyes that it wasn't always the physically strongest people who survived. Nope, it was the ones who held onto a why, a powerful reason to keep going. He often used this quote from Nietzsche, which really became his central idea. If you have a powerful enough purpose, you can endure almost anything. But here's the twist Frankl discovered. You can't just chase after meaning. It's not a goal you can just hunt down and capture. Instead, meaning ensues. It just sort of emerges as a byproduct when you dedicate yourself to something bigger than you are, a cause, another person, a belief.
And this brings us to maybe the most practical and empowering tool in this whole framework. It's something Frankl identified as the absolute key to our personal freedom. He called it mastering the choice gap. Just let that sink in for a second. Between what happens to you and how you react to it, there is a space, a pause, a moment of pure potential. And this isn't just some nice-sounding psychological trick. This is literally the birthplace of our freedom.
Let's break this down. So the stimulus can be anything. Let's say someone makes fun of something you really believe in. The default automatic reaction is to get angry or defensive, right? But in that gap, you can pause, you can take a breath, and you can choose a different response, one that's actually aligned with your values, like dignity or even kindness. That little space holds all of your power. When you learn to consciously widen it, you stop being just a leaf blown around by whatever happens, and you truly become the leader of your own soul. Okay, so we have this incredibly powerful tool. Now let's talk about how we can use it to turn life's unavoidable challenges into actual strength, to prepare us for the storms that are, let's face it, guaranteed to come our way. Now, Frankl wasn't pushing for some naive, happy-go-lucky kind of optimism. He developed a concept he called tragic optimism. This is the learned skill of being able to find meaning and hope even when you're confronted with what he called the tragic triad of life. This table just lays it out so clearly. It shows how we can reframe these unavoidable parts of being human. So pain isn't just suffering, it can be seen as an achievement of endurance. Guilt isn't just a burden, it's a chance to actually change for the better. And death? Well, death becomes the ultimate incentive to live a meaningful life, right here, right now. And I absolutely love this analogy. Having a deep sense of purpose or faith doesn't make the mountain in front of you any smaller. The climb is just as hard. What changes is you. Your spiritual lung capacity grows, making you stronger and more capable of reaching that summit. Okay, so now let's turn all of this inward, because being the architect of your soul means you have to be really intentional about what you build with and who you build with. And that means curating your thoughts and, maybe most importantly, your relationships. I want you to really think about this for a second. The people you surround yourself with, they act as a social mirror. They reflect back to you who you are. Now, if that mirror is warped or cracked, you're going to see a distorted version of yourself. So the question is, who are you letting hold that mirror? To help us figure this out, we can actually go way back to the philosopher Aristotle. He had this powerful framework. He saw 3 types of friends. The first 2, they're based on either usefulness or just having fun. They're usually temporary. But that third kind, friendships of virtue, those are the real game changers. These are the people who challenge us to grow and who reflect back the very best version of ourselves. Of course, one of the biggest threats to our inner peace today is that constant temptation to compare ourselves to others. You know the old saying, comparison is the thief of joy. It's a trap, and it just steals our contentment.
And here's why it's such an unfair fight. When you're on social media, you're constantly comparing your own messy, complicated, behind-the-scenes reality with everyone else's perfectly curated highlight reel. I mean, it is a recipe for anxiety.
So what's the antidote? It's something simple, but so powerful. Gratitude. And get this, there's a fascinating neurological reason for this. It is literally impossible for your brain to be in a state of deep anxiety and deep gratitude at the exact same time. Gratitude actually rewires your brain. Now, the final piece of this inner architecture is all about how you view yourself. The world is always trying to tie your value to your achievements, your grades, your job, your successes. But that's a really fragile foundation to build on. This idea suggests your core worth is a fixed point. It's an unshakable truth that doesn't go up with your wins or down with your losses. But understanding our fixed worth isn't just for comfort, it comes with a duty. Frankl argued this so powerfully. He said that freedom is only half the story. Freedom without responsibility, that just leads to chaos. He even imagined a statue of responsibility on the West Coast as a reminder that liberty has to be balanced with commitment. So, what does it really mean to persevere, to carry on? It's not just about gritting your teeth and surviving. It's about being a torchbearer, carrying the flame of your values, your integrity, and your purpose forward, and then passing it on. And all of this leaves us with this one final, powerful thought. Every single day, life is posing a question to you. It's asking what you stand for, what you're going to do with your time, and who you're going to become. And you don't answer that question with your words, you answer it with your life.